Thank you everyone for coming out to the debate tonight. This is hosted by the Gibson County Patriots. My name is Sean Rochelle. There's two things that we always do before we start any meeting. This is not a meeting, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm going to ask Mr. Sam Gregory if he'll lead us in prayer, please.
Father, we just thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight, Father. We thank this great country that we live in, Father, that we enjoy the freedoms that we do. We're able to have this type of debate tonight. Father, I just pray your blessings over each and every one of these men that have put their name in the hat to be a part of this tonight, to be a part of this election, Lord. I ask that you bless each one of them. Father, I pray that tonight everything that will be done will bring honor and glory to you. Father, we just praise you and love you. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Now I'm going to ask Mr. David Nance to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Our moderator is Mr. Victor Parkins, and he'll take it from there. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean. I'd like to thank everyone that's here tonight showing their interest to Gibson County and the future of it and the betterment of it. And I thank the Patriots for organizing this event. Things like this just don't happen. It takes a lot of work, and we appreciate Sean and Lee, the hard work they put into getting this together. And also my media partner in crime, Steve Heyman, and the Victory 93.7 and the Mirror Exchange newspaper for sponsoring this forum. Thank you to all of you. And mostly I want to thank these four gentlemen that have agreed to come here tonight and present their platform and speak in front of the public. And they will be answering questions that were presented by each of them. Each candidate has presented 2 questions that will be asked to each of the candidates, and then each candidate will have the opportunity to respond to their own question. With that said, I have just a couple of announcements that I do want to make. I do ask that there be no comments or outbursts from the audience during tonight's event, and I ask that you please hold your applause until the end of the forum. We are here tonight to hear from these 4 gentlemen that are seeking office of Gibson County Mayor. We're not here to hear from the audience. So I ask that each of our candidates respect the time limit of 2 minutes, per question or your response. I'd also like to thank 2 of Milan's finest in the back there, Cassidy Strayhorn and Kelvin Whitney, for coming tonight to provide security and order to us. And with that said, we'll get started with the forum by allowing each candidate 2 minutes to introduce themselves. Our candidates have been seated in alphabetical order, so we will start with Mr. Barker.
Right, thank you, Victor. I am Alan Barker. I'm the Republican candidate for Gibson County Mayor. I'm a resident of Gibson County and Humboldt for some 42 years, and I've been married to my wife Carol, who is in the audience tonight, for 39.5 years. We have 2 daughters. Lisa lives in Humboldt, and Cindy of Ladies Island, South Carolina. It is indeed an honor to run and be considered for the prestigious position of county mayor. Now I want to give you a little overview about myself and where I've come from in my life, and maybe make you understand that I understand the issues out here and take them to heart very much. But my father died when I was 10 years old, and my brother, at that time 7 or 8 years older than I am, joined the military, so that left my mother and myself in the household. And that was 1960. And I think some of you in this audience tonight remember 1960, and times was pretty hard back then. I've been working. I began working at an early age, about 12, 13 years old, mowing yards and doing things around the communities. But I learned the value of $1 at an early age, and I learned I had to be conservative and respect others, and I had to give it 110% every day. Those who know me also know that I'm straightforward when I speak, when I answer your questions. It's straightforward and to the point. I don't dance around. I don't try to sugarcoat things. I don't try to mask anything. Just what it is what it is. Now, I won't sit here tonight and try to blow smoke about things that I know darn well can't be done, or make false statements, or take credit for things I had nothing to do with. I have over 20 years experience in local government, both city and county, and I do know what can and cannot be accomplished. One of the big issues always in elections are jobs, and I'll speak to that in just a few moments, but we do have a lot of buildings and green spaces in Gibson County that need to be filled. We have, excuse me just a minute, we have I'm fighting some sinus infection here, some drainage, it's not pleasant. We have the buildings, green spaces that need to be filled, and I'll speak to that a little bit later here. But right now my time is up. I thank you and appreciate you being here tonight.
Mr. Hilton.
Also, I'd like to thank the Patriots for hosting this event and giving us the opportunity to speak to the constituents of Gibson County, let them know the candidates a little better. There are stark differences between the candidates here tonight. I ask that you listen very carefully as we choose to either continue with the same of the last few years, or we begin to look for an opportunity to breathe new life into this great county. I've been accused of not liking government. Part of that's true, but let me clarify. I respect what our founders wrote that government should be. I strongly disapprove of what it has become. When our leaders lose sight of what it means to serve people and not themselves, it's time to change it. I have a lot of ideas to put before the commission, the people, and the businesses in Gibson County to help them flourish. I haven't said that it was a bad thing to have the house in order with the increase in our bond rating. What I said was it was great if you want to borrow more money, and we've done that already. Our mayor in an advertisement says our taxes remained the same in his 4 years, but there's a little secret in there. It was raised from 62 cents to 94 cents right before he came in. And we've had a deficit budget every year since then to an increase of 15.4%. He also says that unemployment has decreased under his scrutiny, and yes, it has. But there's another little secret also, that the drop in the state affects that. Many Gibson Countyans have dropped out of the unemployment rolls, so they're not counted anymore. My other opponent, former Humboldt Mayor and Commissioner Barker, considered hard whether or not to enter the race. Close to the sign-up time, only about 80% sure. He had just lost the mayor's race in Humboldt, so I'd have to think about it too, especially considering that all of his votes are on record, and barring another $1.75 million, all on record. Our current mayor's slogan is people over politics. Ask yourself, is that what it's been? Mine has always been people first. It's my firm belief that our founders intended that to be that, and I've signed statements to prove that or agree to resign if I don't follow it. Will the others do that? Will they make that pledge? Might be a question you want to ask them later. I appreciate all of you that I've met and are here and listening on the radio. Please remain tonight after the debate if you have further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Skinner.
Thank you, Mr. Parkins. I'd like to thank the people here tonight for coming out to hear what we have to say. I'd just like to say, my name is Howard Skinner, and I was born and raised in Gibson County, a rural area. I'm a son of a sharecropper. By just general nature, I shouldn't be here tonight among these people because based on my background. As I said, I was educated in a one-room school. And still stands. I'm working on it right now to get that put on the National Register of Historical Places. Maybe you've seen that in the newspaper, and also my high school in Trenton where I went to school. I've been married to the same woman for 51 years. She's can't be with me tonight because she's in the hospital. After high school, I started to Tennessee State College at Tennessee State. Went there for a while, didn't have the money. Became disgusted and went in the military for 3 years. So I feel like I'm a patriot. I serve my country. I worked toward a master's degree at University of Tennessee Martin. I also worked during the time I was working, going to college. I worked at the Mountain Arsenal for about 20 years, almost 20 years. I worked as an industrial specialist out there. And I want to bring the jobs back to Milan. I hate because the jobs that left Milan Arsenal, they should be here. Milan Arsenal was born in 1941, and they left here about 2 years ago, back during the height of the Vietnam War. They had as many as 5,000 people working. You know, during the time it was built, maybe more than that, thousands of people. So it really helped our economy. So now we have a 12% unemployment rate. I want to get the people back to work. I left Milan Arsenal and got transferred to San Diego, worked as an industrial specialist. I had a chance to go all over San Diego County and interview contractors and evaluate them, people who wanted government contracts. So I know how the government works. So I'm running, the reason I'm decided to get in this race, I want to bring jobs back to Gibson County. Gibson County is out of 95 counties in the state of Tennessee, Gibson County, there are 5 other counties I'm sorry, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, good friends. I want to begin by thanking everyone for being here this evening and taking interest in the process. And I'm going to keep this short and sweet, folks. This campaign is simple, as far as I'm concerned. This campaign is about where we were in 2010, where we are now, and where we're going to be going forward. And that's what it should be about. So I'm not going to insult you good people who showed up here tonight by trying to skew the numbers or trying to turn this into some kind of magic act and make my record go away or turn the numbers into something they aren't. You may hear that from some of the other candidates. You're not going to hear that from me. We're going to shoot you straight and deal with the facts, and we're going to talk about my record. I'm running on my record, plain and simple. And I want people to see that the county's definitely headed in the right direction. Now, we can talk about things like our unemployment rate. Mr. Hilton said we had nothing to do with. I challenge that. I say that we've worked hard to improve our workforce. We've worked extremely hard to get our fiscal house in order, and we're going to talk about some of those things. And I hope that the people look at my record and vote according to that. Now, again, I appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight, and I hope we can maintain civility and have a debate of how we can truly continue to move this county forward and not turn it into some kind of magic show that would be an insult to you and every voter and taxpayer in this county. So thank you, and God bless you for being here.
Thank you. I think all the candidates know that Mr. Lee Alexander's over here with keeping time, but just in case you don't, you got a yellow with 15 seconds and red means to pass the mic. Our first question tonight was presented by Mayor Witherspoon, and it will be answered first by Mr. Barker. Now I want to tell the candidates that I will be happy to re-ask the question, reread the question if you would like me to. Some of them are a little more wordy than others, but if it's not necessary, feel free just to pass the mic down and continue. Mr. Barker, do you consider yourself to be a hard worker, and if so, what is your proudest professional achievement?
Yes, I consider myself to be a hard worker, and as Mr. Hilton mentioned, yes, I was mayor of the city of Humboldt for a number of years, and I'm very proud of what we got accomplished there under some very challenging conditions. We went through a couple of recessions in 16 years. 2008 was very difficult on city and county governments. One of the best things, one of the things I'm most proudest of is the Adult Education Center in Humboldt. We took a elementary school and converted it into a college campus. We have 4 colleges participating there now. We have the Jackson State, University of Memphis, and UT Martin, as well as the Tennessee Applied Sciences. That's allowed, provided educational opportunities for many young people that can walk to school, and even students from Milan and north part of Gibson County that don't have to drive all the way to Jackson State campuses or other campuses to get their education. It's been my thoughts on that was if we could educate a generation of young people, if we could get a 10, 12-year generation of people through the college from all around the area, that would make a tremendous difference in Gibson County, and it's working very well. Thank you.
I consider myself to be a very hard worker. My wife is in the audience as well, and she'll tell you how late I come in most every night. This has been an experience since January when I first started campaigning for mayor. and traveling all over this great county and putting a lot of miles on my vehicle to shake hands and meet folks that are out here. And it's been an honor to do that. My proudest professional accomplishment, I think, would be my marketing. I've spent most of my life doing marketing work, understand how marketing works. And this year especially, I turned 60 years old next weekend. This year I've had a great grandchild, and I'm also completing my degree in organizational management at Union University. So my direction has led to management. I've managed several people, I've managed businesses, I've managed big budgets, and I think that I can apply that as well to being mayor of Gibson County too. So as far as my professional life, very proud, very hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I do consider myself a hard worker. As I said earlier in my statements, I was born on a farm, son of a sharecropper, and it doesn't get no harder than that. Worked on the farm, doing all types of people who are familiar with farm work, know what goes on the farm. And of course, Tennessee is, highly agricultural. But I decided to leave that and pursue other interests. That's why I went in the military. Then after the military, I got my education. I feel like I forgot to mention this early. I was elected to city council in Trenton, Tennessee for 14 years. I was elected around 1971. I served on the council for 14 years. I've done a lot of things for the city of Trenton. I help, if you go back, I do have a record also, if you want to check it out. I've done a lot of things. I can't mention them all. I have over 14 years. And then after I left there, I went to California and I served on the planning commission. I was appointed to a position by a city who has 100,000 people, city of Oceanside, California. And I served there for 10 years until I retired and moved back to Trenton. So I consider myself a very hard worker. I am still working in the community here, doing a lot of things that needs to be done. So I love my community. I love the people of Tennessee. And I'm just proud here that I can run for county mayor. And like I said earlier, it's not about me. I want to get the people back to work. There are a lot of people out there hurting for jobs. People who had good jobs, who paid good money, good wages, $15, $20 an hour. These jobs produce homes, they produce cars, they produce other things for other business, local businesses. Thank you.
Really, when it boils down to it, we're here to hire a mayor. And I've hired many people in my private life and in public life, and you had to nutshell it down to 2 questions. I think I picked the best 2 questions I could ask anybody. But to answer my own question, yes, I am a hard worker. And I grew up on a rural farm in West Tennessee, and there are a lot of people here that I grew up around, and they'll tell you I worked hard, and I didn't have a choice. And I'm glad that was instilled in me. In the private sector, one of my proudest professional accomplishments, I was the engineering manager for a company in Marion, Illinois in 2009, and our building was struck by a blizzard and collapsed the roof on the building. Our company president gave us the impossible task of having that equipment, the entire facility, moved back to West Tennessee and back in production in 8 weeks. We did it in 6 and put 100+ people to work here in West Tennessee as a result of it. I'm very proud of that. As far as my private life, or private sector life, or public sector life, excuse me, I'm very proud of how we've worked hard to right our fiscal ship, to clean up our audits, to get our budgets passed on time. We've saved the county taxpayers $2.7 million in debt due to a top to bottom debt restructuring. I'm proud of that, but I'm prouder of anything probably of how my staff and I have dealt with the day-to-day issues of the individuals that have come in our office seeking help, seeking resources, and we've worked very hard to make sure people are aligned with the resources they need to improve their lives. Because at the end of the day, any public official is in the business of improving the human condition. And if you don't get that, then you don't need to run. I mean, it's just that simple. And I'm very proud of how we've been able to serve the people of the county, and we've worked very hard to do that. So that would be my proudest accomplishment as county mayor. Thank you.
Our second question was presented by Mr. Barker, and we'll start with Mr. Hilton. Mr. Hilton, discuss a possible incentive package you may offer a prospective industry.
One of the things is that Gibson County is a big community. It's a hub community around all of West Tennessee, right in the center of West Tennessee. As far as what kind of incentives that you would offer, it would have to depend on what kind of industry you're talking about, what kind of industry size it is, and what kind of requirements that they have to have. That would be something that you would have to study without giving away the farm, yet being able to get the industry here to provide more jobs. However, one of the things that I think that we need to consider in the future going forward is working from the bottom up rather than the top down. I think a lot of our small businesses need attention rather than a lot of big businesses, where they are a plus to have them and they employ lots of folks. The only problem is a lot of the big businesses that come in do it at the cost of the taxpayer dime and what I like to call freebies. And they also bring their own people with them a lot of times when they come here. And they don't add a plus to the unemployment base that's here in Gibson County. So I think that I would have to consider each and every one on an individual basis, work with the economic development folks and also the economic folks in the state as to how to apply a fair and equitable package to get somebody to come here. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, many cities have offered tax incentives, long-term, reducing, putting off later down the road. As a county mayor, you will be working with 23 other commissioners, and it's just not really up to the county mayor to offer a particular incentive to a prospective client. So 23 commissioners will have a hand in that, and so. But that's one of the things. But I'm still harping on the thing that the federal government is the largest employer. No doubt about that. And we have a site facility 4 miles from here, and that's what I would go. I would go try to bring back jobs that we lost. I would help to expand existing industries throughout the county wherever I can, and let the people who work the industries know how to expand their industries. That's basically what I would do. Thank you.
Well, that's a good question. When I was elected in 2010, I knew there was 2 things we needed to do immediately to help bring jobs to Gibson County and to help our existing companies grow, both small business and big business. I knew first and foremost, and this would be the quickest thing to do, is get our fiscal house in order. We couldn't in good faith ask anybody to move their business here with the audit findings and the delinquencies that we were experiencing as a county, delayed budget passings, operating on continuing resolutions. It just sends a bad message. So I got busy getting our fiscal house in order first, because I knew that if we did not, then we wouldn't have any financial incentive to offer. When I took office, we just didn't have anything to offer a company as far as financially to come here. But the most important thing, and I think this is critical, very critical, we have to improve our workforce. We have to improve our post-secondary educational numbers. Our Workforce Development Committee has worked very hard. We've rolled out a No Excuses tour. We've reached out to our high school seniors. Now we're rolling it out to our 8th graders. This fall, we've got a work ethic certification program that we're implementing, which, when in place, we'll be able to say that every high school senior in Gibson County leaves with some college credit. We'll be the only county in the state of Tennessee that'll be able to say that. And we've done some very good things in our Workforce Development Committee, and I haven't seen any of my fellow panelists at any of these meetings except former Mayor Barker, who I think has been the one. And I've been very involved in that committee, and it's been really the joy of my life and my professional career as mayor, working with them. So the best thing we could possibly do is, outside of offering money, and by the way, I was very thankful that our fiscal house was in order to the point when 2 years ago, McLean Power Systems was coming to Trenton, Tennessee. The city of Trenton reached out to us for financial help, and we were able to do that, and it's the right thing to do, and nearly 300 people now are working because of that. And I think it's great that we were able to. Thank you.
Financial incentives are very often misunderstood. Financial incentives are not writing people checks. Financial incentives can be in many forms. One thing is typically in our area, and if an industry, say with 100 jobs that pays $15 an hour, the local government would typically donate the land to them if they're looking for a greenfield site. If there's a building available, they'll help them with the financing on it. And if sometimes when the county or city owns a building, they might even donate the building. But typically on a greenfield site, the property is donated. The industrial boards of the cities and county have to offer and approve tax abatements. They're based on amount of jobs, amount of investment, and what the return is on your economic impact that this company may have. Just as an example, you may have an industry that has 100 people paying $15 an hour, and that's about $30,000 a year times 100 people, so you got a $3 million payroll that turns over in your community 7 or 8 times before that money leaves your community. So what does that do to the mom and pop stores or your local gas stations or whatever that the employees choose to spend their money on in your community? That money generates a lot. So and then if you look at it on a 10-year increment, what have you really done there? You haven't given away anything. And most of the time as well, on a greenfield site, you're not giving away or giving up tax dollars because there's nothing there anyway. And it's property owned by the industrial boards that are city or county that you're passing up there. Incentives can be as broad or as narrow as you want to make them. It's all up to the local leadership, and I've even done incentives, offered incentives before that included automobiles for factory executives for 2 years. But anyway, I'll close with that, and it's just a broad area that you can talk all night about incentives. Thank you.
Our third question was presented by Mr. Hilton, and we'll start with Mr. Skinner. Mr. Skinner, in a statement made at a commission meeting that the average citizen doesn't understand how the county budget is balanced, do you believe that the budget should be constructed and summarized so that citizens of the county can see the overall picture and know what their tax dollars are being spent for?
Thank you, Mr. Parker. You know, one thing that people don't understand, a lot of average person on the street budgets, you know, the budgets are simply the amount of money that you make and then the assets and liabilities. And I think when I become county mayor, I would make it easier by posting things for citizens such as libraries and places where average people go on a daily basis in their routines to understand about the budget. Budgets are pretty complicated. Depends on how they're presented. So I think things need to be more visible, more practical for citizens to understand. I've attended city county commission meetings, and I've seen not menus, but agendas passed out to people. But I never got one the day I was there. I know whether it ran out or what. But I believe that people should be more understandable of what goes on in the county. The tax rate, property tax rate, assessments, a lot of different things. The budget, amount of money it takes in, the amount of money it spends. So that's what the budget's for. Right? Yeah, I would be more doing something and making people understand better. Thank you.
I agree that the budgeting process can be confusing. It's confusing to me, and I deal with it every day. I'm the chief financial officer of the county, and it's an ever-changing thing. I mean, we have mandates that come down to us from the Office of Comptroller, and it's constant. And we talk about that, and we whine about it in Nashville. We meet with the comptroller, and he just pounds away at us and say, well, it'll be fine. Just listen to us. But I think Mr. Hilton would actually have a better understanding of our budget process if he'd attended some of our budget workshop meetings that were recently held. They were open to the public, open for everybody. It's a great learning experience. Commissioner Sheldon does an outstanding job of putting those meetings together, and I was disappointed that I didn't see him there at any of those meetings. Commissioner Barker was there. He serves on the budget committee, and I appreciate your service on that committee, by the way, Commissioner. But apparently, Mr. Hilton doesn't understand the process or doesn't understand how to read the budget, because he's made the comment several times, including tonight, that we were operating under a deficit budget. When I don't see how we can operate under a deficit budget to have an $800,000 a year increase in our fund balance. And this is a financial report from the state of Tennessee Office of Comptroller. I'll be glad to give you one when we leave here tonight. But we're not operating under deficit budgets. Our fund balance has increased for the last 3 years. In fact, the biggest problem we have now financially is we've got more money in debt service than we should have, and if we don't move some of it, at our next meeting, when our recessed meeting reconvenes, the IRS is going to tax our bonds. So that's a good problem to have. Our debt service fund is too much. Our fund balance in our general fund is about where it needs to be, and we honestly run one of the tightest fiscal ships in the state of Tennessee. And all that done with the lowest tax rate in the state of Tennessee, by the way, I'd like to add. Thank you.
I'd have to agree that budgets can be misunderstood and hard to read by somebody that's not real familiar with them. But I would urge everybody that has an interest in them to come to the budget meetings, come to the commission meetings, talk to your commissioner, and let's get familiar with it so you will understand it. There's nothing any worse out there than an uninformed person talking about something in a budget they really don't understand. And what I've heard over the years is, well, their budget increased $1 million last year. Well, sure enough, it really did. But look over on your line items, and you got $1 million grant coming in. It's a pass-through money. So you have to record that grant money. If you anticipate getting it or have it approved when you do your budget, you have to have in and out money. So yes, your budget may go up $1 million this year, could go up $2 million. When that grant money is spent, your budget levels out again. When more grant money comes in, it goes back up. But again, I urge people to come and let's understand it. I certainly want you to. And the format that we use is a standard state format. The Comptroller Office recommends it, and that's what we do. It's pretty clear once you understand it. It's line items for expenses, line items for revenue, and the totals are the totals, and you go from there. Thank you.
To answer the mayor, one of the reasons that a lot of people don't go to the commission meetings is they're not convenient for people to go to. They're held in the mornings when most people are working. The budget meetings that were scheduled, unfortunately, was when I was in class at Union University and not able to go. The mayor, Mr. Witherspoon, made reference to his record. These figures came from his office. When he took office, a $6,400 deficit budget, 2012, $1.7 million deficit budget, and 2013, $657 in deficit budget. And it came right from his office. So, I mean, if he's telling, if this is magic or blowing smoke, it's coming right out of his office. Right now, Gibson County has 10,733 people on welfare. Right now, the poverty level in Gibson County is 18.6%. Out of 9 counties in West Tennessee, we are the highest in unemployment, even though it's gone down via the state and non-participation. So yeah, let's run on record, let's talk figures and everything else. They're out here, and it's just not exactly like everything that's coming out in the advertisements. People do need to know this, and I make a pledge to come out here every 90 days and tell you what's going on. And I want to bring a commissioner with you, and I want to explain the budget and the budget process and what the budget is. And if it's real hard to understand, we'll take it apart piece by piece so that people know. My goal is to give the government back to the people, not keep hiding it from them. Thank you.
Our fourth and final question of the first round has been presented by Mr. Skinner, and it'll start with Mayor Witherspoon. Mayor Witherspoon, what do you perceive to be Gibson County's most pressing immediate need?
Hands down, without question, I don't have to hesitate answering this question. We have to plainly and simply improve our workforce. Our post-secondary accreditation numbers for our county are about 27%. As many of you know, the governor has enacted a bold initiative, his Drive to 55 initiative. It's his plan to raise that number to 55% statewide. I was very pleased. Representative Halford's with us here tonight, and I tip my hat publicly to not only Representative Halford, but the entire state legislature for passing the Tennessee Promise, where it'll allow every student in the state of Tennessee access to 2 years of Tennessee College of Applied Technology or 2 years of community college. I think that's definitely going to be a game changer, but we've got to work harder to get the message out to our workers, young and old, and raise the bar and raise expectations. And I think you do that through taking a positive message to them and not being negative, and tell them that you believe in them and tell them that you believe that they're worth investing in. And we've worked hard at doing that, and I think the message is starting to be heard. And to me, hands down, workforce development, we've noticed that as our post-secondary accreditation numbers increase, the unemployment rate is decreased expeditiously. And so we got to continue working hard in that arena and continue to build strong relationships with our community educators, and that's something I'm very proud that we've been able to do. The county commission has historically seen schools as not our business, so to speak, but I've made it my business. And Mr. Hilton mentioned in an earlier meeting that the county mayor's office is a figurehead position. Well, it might have used to have been a figurehead position. Well, I've made it a spearhead position, and I'm very proud that I've been able to do that. So workforce development, number one. The county's fiscal house is in order. We got to get those workforce numbers up, and we're working hard to do that.
While workforce development is important, that's the same thing I touched on earlier in responding to the college in Humboldt, providing opportunities for young people to get an education so they can get the quality jobs they need. But also, if we had we have people out here right now that's underemployed. We know that they're underemployed. So we need the jobs now for those people, as well as jobs in the future for our young people and those entering the workplace in the future. Certainly, Gibson County is situated to where if we had an industry come in that needed 100 employees, certain high technology job or something, we would struggle to fill those jobs. But we're sitting in a radius, we have about 200,000 people available for employment in a radius around Gibson County that will drive for an hour or less to get to those quality jobs if we had them here. So I'm seeking the jobs and then as well as the workforce and educating our young people for the future.
Mr. Witherspoon, I'm not real sure where that came from. That also is not true. I never said that the mayor was a figurehead position. Don't think it to be a figurehead position at all. I think it's probably one of the most respected positions that the county can have as far as getting attractiveness brought back to the county. I think that one of the things that we need to work on as far as a county is marketing. First off, about who we are before they'll come over here. We have to make Gibson County attractive once again. In order to attract business, small to large, we have to give them a reason to be here. We have to recognize what Gibson County has, what resources it has, what entertainment that it has, what features for recreation that it has. All the points at Gibson County people need to know about. What's attractive about Gibson County? What do other people talk about Gibson County? Right now, 1 out of 9 on unemployment, we're the highest. And most everything that I hear out here is negative, and that has got to be changed. Positive impact is what it's going to take to change Gibson County. All of the rest will come. All of the figures that you have to know, all of the things that you have to do as a commission, as a mayor, as any other offices in Gibson County are all laid out, but the marketing's not. We haven't had marketing, and that's what we need to get Gibson County back on track again. Thank you.
Well, my question, I think Gibson County most pressing need is basically, as I said earlier, jobs. That's what I want to work for. You know, jobs is like, you get jobs, you can do a lot of things, as I said earlier. You can produce homes, buy houses, cars, and also you see the retail business goes up, tax base goes up. I'm working in my city, Trenton, where there's a high school sitting there. Been there, I graduated from that high school. Been closed for over 20 years. I'm working to get this building put on the Tennessee National Historic Places, Registered Places. But above that, once it's in the process now. But what I want to do is go to the state of Tennessee and wherever I can go, get this building just sitting there. I don't have 3 programs there, just sitting there, just doing nothing. I want to get some jobs there, job training facilities such as computer centers, make it useful for the entire, not just Trenton, but the entire Gibson County and West Tennessee community. And I will go all out to do whatever to fill that building up and just make it where people can come, get training, and once you get training, you're more suitable for jobs. There are a lot of people out there who just have given up on working. And so this, I think jobs are the most, Gibson County, the most pressing needs right now. Thank you.
Ready for the next question? It's still to you. I didn't lose my place in it. The higher priority?
Top priority,
Top priority for-
yeah, I answer first.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're ready. Here we go. Ready?
That's all right, you can have anybody.
I skipped a check mark.